for traders that want to learn how to trade and focus on the important stuff like the price action trading in and around the money. Sal Shawul is your host and mentor. We start here a little after 9 a.m. Sal pops in pretty close to 9:30, right around the cash open. What I'm quoting is Eastern time. It is Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. Everything we do is for educational purposes only. Nothing is to be taken as direct trading advice. You are trading between you and your broker at your own risk. You should see a series of 3 charts in a separate chart window, 2 time frames for the S&P 500 E-mini and a 30-year bond chart. If you're interested in focusing on where the rubber meets the road at the price action level of the trade, you want to receive key areas, key zones for the morning session trading. You're in the right place. Click on the link if you want to come directly into Zoom. There's a link there called Zoom It Live. Got a nice group of people in here today. Wanted to welcome you all. I do send out the opportunity for individuals to sign up for Sal's Monthly. Check it out. First thing you're coming in is guest status. Then you roll into Sal's Monthly. Then you have the opportunity to talk about Sal's Intensive, where he takes you under his wing, teaches you his trading methodology, and works with you in private session to teach you the entries, exits, and stops of price action trading in and around his pre-mapped out levels. So if you want to move from the monthly into the intensive, or you'd like to hear more about it, don't hesitate to ask. Raise your hand. I guess first raise your hand to make sure that you're part of the monthly. And then secondly is to raise your hand if you are interested in Sal's Intensive. Again, we've got a series of 3 charts in a separate chart window. If you need charts, let us know. I'll be glad to work with you in getting your charts set up. Got a nice group of brokers out there that are interested in our clients' services. The first opportunity here is to learn how to scalp the market based on Sal's price action trading zones, the ones he gives out right around the cash open. Learn to trade based on simulation first against real-time data. So that means a charting package through a brokerage firm, and make sure you get real-time data and the ability to simulate trade. And simulate trade, in our humble opinion, with a trading methodology that you can count on. And that's what Sal has to offer here. Our trading concentration is the morning session from around 9:30-ish to 12 noon. 9:30-ish to 12 noon. That's the opportunity zone for this service. Hey, Blas, I understand. You know, it's interesting because, I mean, how long you been coming in? I mean, I know you've been coming in for at least a month or so, on and off. You know, it's just interesting, right? Hey, Chak, I think you are part of Sal's Monthly. Just let me know back in chat. Hey, Kirk, good morning. Peter O, Pedro, Roop. Hey, Kurt. Good morning, Don. How are you? Hey, Warren. Again, if you're coming in from the outside, you can certainly join us on the inside. Look for the link. It says login free now at zoomitlive.com. I think you have to put the www dot to find it, zoomitlive.com. Hey, Joel. Good morning. Hey, HD. Everybody from the outside, welcome to learn the trade the market as a living. We're focused on the S&P 500 E-mini. Put up an E-mini chart. Look at Sol's charts as reference. Right now it's 9:23 a.m. Sol's going to be joining us shortly. He'll just pick up from my voice. We'll go through the morning session together. We're looking to do 2, 3, 4, 5 trades during a good trading morning. And when Sol pops in, make sure you let him know that you can hear him. Hey, quick shout out and welcome to Dan W. Hey, Dan, welcome. Hey, Frank. Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan, he's getting pretty close, just so you know, to he tries to keep 6 or less at a time. So I want to hold on to those discounts for you. Just let me know if you're in the neighborhood as far as your interest date. He starts to take away the discounts and stuff, and I know I'm holding yours because that's what I said I'd do. Just give me the high sign. Hey, Oscar. Hey, Oscar, nice note the other day. Appreciate it. Hey, Robert. Hey, Jack, are you back yet? Let me know in chat, Jack. You can also. Hey, no problem there, Oscar. Maybe pump us up over in that top step. Pump Solemn, not us, Solemn. Maybe under learn to trade the markets as a living. And Dan, just so you know, you can always lock in what you need and just pick your start date. That start date can be out, you know what I mean?
All right, good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me all right? All right, fantastic. Let's give you our levels for this morning. Our pivot this morning is 38.57. 38.57. Resistance above at 65, 74, 83, 90, 98. Support below 50, 43, 35, 26, and 18. 57 support, pivot, sorry. 57 pivots, support 50, 43, 35, 26, 18, resistance on the upside at 65, 74, 83, 90, and 98. All right, welcome to some of the new folks that are joining us. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We are looking for areas where we can scalp the market. We believe that markets don't go straight up or straight down. Consequently, we're looking for those inflection points where it give us opportunity to scalp the market for 2 to 3 points given volatility these days. I think that's doable. I think yesterday, if you were with us, we looked for 4 or 5 trades in the course of the day, and yesterday I think we had 6, 7 just in the first hour of trading. It was just one of those days that everything kind of clicked in, and I warned everybody it's not going to be like this every day. So, sometimes we actually have to work. Yesterday was one of those days where it worked out very, very nicely for us. And hey, sometimes that happens. But again, 4 to 5 trades average. Sometimes we get more, sometimes we get less. It all depends on volatility and movement. Every particular day is different. So we can't really depend on tell you, we're going to get such and such. Just a matter of, how we're trading that day and what's going on with the market. The market opens up here, a little resistance against the 65 area. So we try to find, these are the levels that we give out every morning. And if you look at the chat box area, they're in the chat box area for you. And those levels are guiding post for today. It doesn't mean that everything we're going to say here or do here is perfect. We have to adjust those just to, like I said, like a guide for the day. We have to make adjustments to them as the market tells us to. And sometimes it's a little easier than other times, and then we don't have to make too many adjustments. Other times we have to make some adjustments. It all depends on each particular day and how the market price action is going to dictate. A nice little rotation here off of our 65 area. You got down to 62.75 there. So hopefully, if you had your order in, should have got filled there on the rotation. And if you didn't before, you should have got now. And nice little rotation here off of our 65 area. Took just a little bit of heat there, but no big deal. And a nice rotation here. You easily get 4 points on this rotation here off of the 65 area. This is again, we're trying to find these inflection points that the markets will give us opportunities to scalp. We have resistance up here at 65. Obviously, resistance is a sell. Support is a buy. So our first level here got triggered right away, right off the morning. And yesterday it was right on the opening, but today it gives you a chance here to actually put the order in if you didn't have a chance to do it. Hopefully you did, and help us and partake here in the first level. Again, we are trying to just find areas of opportunity here where we can scalp the market and find those levels that will give us, that we feel the market will give us a chance to scalp, like I said. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the chat box area. And if you get the chat box area up, we're going to have the levels up again, and there they are for everyone so they can see them. These are the levels that we are going to use as, like I said, like a guide for the day. And we can add, subtract from them. It all depends on, how the price action is going to dictate for that particular moment in time. Market is, again, S&Ps here were up a little bit yesterday, but the Dow as a whole was up a whole bunch. And we've kind of got the same thing going on. Well, today the S&Ps actually is catching up here a little bit to what the Dow was doing yesterday. The Dow, I think, was up like 300 points yesterday, and S&Ps were, I think, either down or up a tiny little bit. So that, again, you get a difference in the evaluation between the S&Ps, which again is 500 stocks, and the Dow, which is the greater market altogether. So, and again, you can maybe make sense of that because you figure the Dow. The reason I think it's happening is because the Dow is going to be accepting of the new, stimulus checks that are coming out. They're hoping that their people will spend money on every sector, while the S&Ps they were doing well before the stimulus check. So they're thinking, okay, well, I mean, maybe you get a little come back into a little valuation play a little bit here to relax it a little bit. I don't know. That's what they're saying, that it's, you're going out of the cyclicals and coming into whatever these situations are. I don't know. Whatever. I don't understand. I don't understand it either. When oil's at $70 a share, a barrel, and we're going up. But hey, that's how it works. All right. So again, if you look at the chat box area, a lot of levels are in there. And now, we had our first level, 60, the 65 area got triggered. And now we're just kind of hanging here, see what it wants to do. There's no numbers coming out today, except there is a Fed speak that's after the close at 5 o'clock. So nothing to concern ourselves with. And there is a 3-year note auction. Again, the auctions, and especially a 3-year, have not been things that we in the past have been thinking or concerning ourselves with. But at 12 o'clock Chicago time, they're going to have $58 billion 3-year notes auctioned off. Last time this happened, we got a little bit busy, but it was bigger. It was I think the 7 or the 10-year. So you never know what could happen, but we'll see. What happened to 65? What happened to 66? Oh, what? All of a sudden you don't trust me anymore? Had your order at 66.50. Come on, man. What's going on with you, Don? Disappointing. Better cancel it this time now. Well, I mean, we could split the difference. All right. Anyway, so we're just kind of hanging up here and coming back down here to our pivot, just kind of, in the same range it's been at for the last few hours. So we'll see what happens. A little consolidation over the last couple of days. It's been a very hectic week, volatility-wise, last week, and Thursday, Friday, yesterday, everything's all over the place. So a day to take a breather, maybe. Who knows? Maybe not. But maybe let it take a breather after we quit trading. That's a good thing. So that's not too bad. Well, would be $1,500, not $1,150. No, well, the 10 contracts. Wait a second. I'm sorry. 50. 1,500. Yeah, 1,500, not 1,150. All right. Is that Kurt? Is that a question or is that a statement? Um, we'll find out tomorrow. Right now, like I said, even if the June is going to be the front month tomorrow or Wednesday, Thursday, we'll still trade the March contract until the next day. There's plenty of opportunity. The volume will be shifting over, but it won't hurt us that much to be trading in March, even into the first day that it rolls over. So I don't know if it's this week or next week, but it's either this week or next week, and we'll figure it out when Thursday shows up. All right, so all right, there, Robert B. Just be careful is right. If your internet is a little off this morning, just be a little bit careful. All right, we can see here we're range bound a little bit, so nice trade there. If you took our first level, and now we're just kind of, again, we get into this like back and forth kind of thing with not much going on and nothing happening. So we have to be patient a little bit as we rotate down here to our pivot area. All right, nice little rotation here off of our pivot area there. If you did attempt to buy the pivot, the first rotation back to it. Obviously, again, remember, we're not going to be perfect, so you have to scale in around if you're going to buy an area or a level. You have to scale into something. Can't always expect to hit the exact price. Okay, a nice bounce here off of our blue band as well. So a little support in this little area here. All right, just kind of bouncing around. So we have no numbers coming out this morning. Nothing that could affect us. So now next support level on the downside we have is the 50 area. I'd be looking at that right now as support. Again, anything we say here, you have to make sure you keep your stops in there. 2 3-point stops is adequate at this moment with this kind of volatility. Obviously, if there's more volatility that occurs or is injected into the market, we have to adjust accordingly. So sometimes we might have to go to 4, 5, or 6-point stops. And then, of course, Eurex looking for the same, amount of profit target. And it does, if we get the opportunity there, if we get the volatility, you get those swings. So there's not like an achievable goal. It's just the way the market works sometimes. The NASDAQ is leading the charge on Wall Street this morning with futures tied to the index ahead 2.5%, followed a 1.2% advance for the S&P 500. And a 0.6 gain for the Dow. It marks some renewed momentum for tech shares, which have been beaten down in recent weeks as investors rotate into value sectors like energy, financials, industrials. In fact, the NASDAQ closed in correction territory on Monday, down 11% from the all-time high in February. The bigger picture, it says the NASDAQ here is quite sensitive to yield change at the moment. Said some head of a multi-asset strategy research at some bank. Overnight, a 10-year yield halted a recent rally, dropping 6 basis points to 153. Even though we got somewhat of a respite from the rising rate reaction, we do think that and it's really important to keep an eye on. Said another talking head from another bank. Certainly, the trajectory for rates is up as the economy reopens. So a lot of it just depends on the speed and the pace of how quickly rates go up. All right, nice rotation there off of our pivot there. Pivot and or blue band, combination of both, maybe. Maybe you did partake. Yesterday, Secretary of Treasury Yellen also echoed comments made by Jeremy Powell on inflation. She dismissed fears that the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill is so big that it will cause price problems or that it is excessive given the economy's signs of recovery. Yellen additionally called the impact on women and minorities from COVID-19 absolutely tragic, but said that the United States would return to pre-pandemic levels of employment in 2022 as the market continues to uptick. Next level of resistance we have is up here at 74. According to the Democrat aides and lawmakers, the bill will return to the House from the Senate today. Changes are made to appease moderates and comply with parliamentary rules, dropping a minimum wage increase. Though the modifications were likely mild enough to have progressive Democrats climb aboard, the final vote, House vote, could potentially slip to Wednesday due to logistics. And though if passed, some Americans might start receiving payment checks as soon as this week. Well, lucky. And market continues to slowly uptick here. Ooh, as soon as I said that, look what happens. It's amazing how I do that. I scare it every time. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, make sure you jot them down in the chat box area. I have that window up. Be able to see that question there versus putting it in the chat box area. All right, well, we're just kind of drifting around here a little bit. Patience is important, especially since we're kind of we're not moving around as much as we were yesterday. So we have to be patient and wait for the opportunities. Yesterday, like I said, we were busy in the morning. Today, we're just gonna have to every day's different. I keep trying to say that, and we have to take each day as it comes. We don't try to predict the volatility or how busy we're going to be. Sometimes, I want to trade and I get ready to trade and I'm just all gung ho, and the market just doesn't give me those opportunities. Just happens that way. We're at the mercy of the market and volatility, and we have to likewise be patient enough to wait for the opportunities to present themselves. But like I said before, it's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of a breather. We were busy last week and last few days, and especially like a Monday after unemployment, which is historically been very, very slow. But yesterday we were very busy, and so it's a good thing. But I guess maybe they're going to do it a Tuesday after unemployment today. If this rally continues, this has the makings of this very slow one-way trade. Let's hope not. We need ebbs and flows. When we get this like slow market one-way trade, especially to the upside, it's very difficult for us to trade because we are not getting those opportunities of those inflection points. They are not going to be there as well as they are when they're quickly moving around. So that's and especially when they go up. I don't know why it's just so slow when it goes up and just doesn't have enough momentum. Or just the momentum's one way and it's slow and put you to sleep. Let's hope not. Let's hope that we actually get some volatility here. But like I said, we're always at the mercy of the market. And anybody has any questions, chat box area is where you want to put them in about anything we do, how we do things. We like questions. As the market continues to uptick here a little bit. We got resistance up here at the 74 area. Again, we like to scale into a position, so how you scale in is all dependent on your risk tolerance. And if you're only trading one contract, obviously you're not scaling in, so you have to kind of find your spot here. Do you do the 74? Do you scale in a little bit before? And whatever wherever it stops and where you have your order in is going to determine whether you keep it, and depending on how the market reacts, whether you cancel it and wait for the next level. All of these things are part of the your discussion here as to how you handle the risk when when a market comes up to a certain area and then trades around it, right? So these are all things that you have to consider as you are trading. And if you did get in here at the 73 area, you get a nice little quick little scalp here. Again, depending on how you're scaling in, half point, a point above, below, a point and a half above and below. It all depends on your risk tolerance. If you did get at 73 there, you got a nice little rotation, still in the same bar, so you got to take some profits along the way. Is there a symbol if you want to trade? You mean trade the minis versus the maxi? I don't know, what is that other one called? Max? What is that other one called? Oh, micro. Are you talking about the micro versus the mini? There is, if that's what you're talking about, then there is a different symbol for it. Yes, it should be in the. It should be in the yeah, the micro. It should, when you go into your properties, you should. They're telling me it's MES from micro, I guess. Micro ES. Yeah, the other one is ES, and this is MES. So yeah, so that's yes, that's it. All right, we coming up here to our 74 area again, depending on if you traded there at 73 or not, and how you adjust it a little bit. Yeah, the commissions on those are. I mean, some people can trade it cheaply. I don't know how they can, but the commissions just eat you up there, unfortunately. I mean, it's a great idea, but you can't pay even $2 a contract for that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You can't make. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they can. I mean, it is a little cheaper, but it's not cheap enough. I mean, if they charge you $4 to trade one contract in the mini, and this is 1/10, ideally you want to trade it for 40 cents to make everything kind of even. Well, that's not going to happen. They're not going to trade it for 40 cents a contract. So somebody say they pay $1.25 round turn. Okay, that sounds a little bit more reasonable. Even at $1.25 round turn, it's still tough to, I don't know. If you're gonna put up a contract that trades 1/10 of the other contract that you have on. Okay, if you did trade the 74 here, you got filled on both ends here, top end, bottom end, middle. You got everything there. Hopefully, we're able to take advantage of the 70. You gotta love the 74. That's all I can say. But if you're going to make a contract that's going to be 1/10 of the mini, logic would assume that you should also charge 1/10 the contract for commissions. But of course, that they're not doing, and they trade a whole bunch of it. I mean, the volume there is amazing. I guess if you can trade it for $1.25, I guess that's cheaper than $3. I don't know. If we're gonna go there, you might as well. I guess it's a good place to learn. I guess. I don't know. To me, I guess it's a good place to learn. I'll just leave it at that. It's a good place to learn if you want to do it with real money, but you got to get it cheap. I mean, $1.25, I guess, is doable. I don't know, but my thing is that if you're going to do it for 1/10 of a contract, you might as well do the commissions 1/10. Well, that's not happening. It's just another gimmick for the exchange to make a little bit of money, and they found something that's good. I mean, people like it because they can, they can learn there instead of the simulator. um, and I guess I just think you should just, well, again, it all depends on your risk tolerance and your what how much money you have in your account and all that kind of good stuff. That's all consideration. All right, so we did bounce off of our 74. You have to be very quick there to be able to, you have to have your orders in there in place. It just slipped down there really fast, and usually that means that somebody had some big order they wanted to sell. They clicked it, they filled all the way down, and then they come back up here a little bit. So if you did get the 74 area there, hopefully you had your order in to take your quick 2 points. And we continue to rally here. Next level of resistance we have is up at 83. All right, again, you have to kind of have, sometimes you got to have your orders in place there for us to be able to take advantage of the opportunities. If you try to get in or get out after the market gets to a level, it's kind of hard to, the market is there for a second and rotates. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. All right, 83 here is the next level of resistance that we have. Market's got a little bit of energy. And 60 S&P points up higher on the day. That's pretty impressive, actually, as we quickly come up here to our 83 area. Again, how you scale in is dependent on your, your entry points there. All right, we should, okay, now we're getting up here to 83 straight up if you were worried about that. Again, we are trying to scalp the market. Could we have bought it anywhere? We could have bought it down at the pivot there when I got there a little bit earlier at 57 area. Definitely could have made a case there. We were talking about it when it got down there. It was our blue band as well. A couple of reasons why you could have got in. And a nice little rotation here off of our 83 area. All right, nice little trade there. Hopefully you were able to get in some way, somehow, some place around there. I don't know. You could, if you had 83 straight up, only 43 contracts traded. If you got in a little bit underneath that, hopefully you were able to get that. So our levels here have worked very nicely for us on the upside. 65 to 74 to 83. Actually, we're not as busy as yesterday, but we're actually getting some nice, decent opportunities here. So that's pretty good, not bad. Surprise. Hopefully, again, if you're trading, and this is what we do here on an everyday basis. We kind of like to show you what we do here, teach you so that you can get these levels on your own, understand why we think they would work, and the course here is geared towards making you be an independent trader. And to make decisions on your own. It's that's the idea of the course here. All right, staying strong. Next level of resistance we have is a 90 area. Oh, that thunk, right? I guess, like I keep saying, I never know which way these markets are going, all right? I mean, we always have to add or subtract levels. The last week, we were adding to the downside, and yesterday, we added upside. We're adding, probably going to have to add some upside levels again to this morning. As continues to stay strong here. Again, hard to find a place to buy them. Like I said, the only place we could have bought them and maybe wanted to stay, somewhat stay long, would be down at the 55, 57 area. Otherwise, the market really just has been going one way, but at least it's stopping at our levels to give us a chance to scalp. And you can see it's moving around here, but really we don't really have anything going on. I mean, we have resistance at 90, and the next support level we have, depending on how much risk you want to take, the good support level will be down at the 65 area. So that would really be our only good support level, at least at the time being, for right now. That could change, obviously. All right, just a little choppy here, but it's okay. That's actually the day is kind of surprising me. I thought we were going to be really dead there for a bit, but I actually picked up here a little bit, so that's a good thing. No numbers coming out today. Just a note auction, a 3-year note auction. I mean, unfortunately, even trying to, we just never know these days with these auctions if they're going to affect the market or not. That's going to be released at 12 o'clock Chicago time. If you're a little aggressive, maybe there's a little support there at the 74 area. If you're aggressive, otherwise you can wait till 65. And since if you trading with us and taking our levels here, hopefully you're up a little bit, so you can definitely pick your spots. Which is the other thing about trading, is that if you don't have to trade the numbers on the screen because they're moving around and you think you got to get in. It doesn't work that way. You have to find the area that the market is kind of telling us would hold, or at least we have a good reason why we think it's going to hold, whether it be upside or downside, and then take advantage of it when it gets there. You start trading the stuff in the middle here, you get yourself in trouble. So if a little aggressive, you're trading 74. Otherwise, you're waiting for the 65 area. All right, market turning over here a little bit. Just kind of doing its thing. Again, if we've been trading with us, we had our levels get triggered, and now we're just kind of watching a little bit. If you didn't want to get short, our 83 level to get up to 86 and change up there, and then turned over. We were looking at 90, almost. Almost got there. 90 is still good, by the way. Let me give you a couple other levels on the upside in case we get a little bit busier. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. So above 98, we got 3906, 14, and 23. So above 3898, we got 3906, 14, and 23. In case the market decides to go really crazy today. I don't know. Never know. Never know. Never know what's going to happen. And honestly, that's fine. We're not here to try to figure out what the markets are doing. If you look at you bring up the chat, you will see the levels, with the new levels in the chat box area there, in case you might have missed them earlier, or if you don't have them. So this is our levels that we use as a guide, like I said. We make adjustments to them depending on the market and what we're trying to do. Sometimes it's a little bit more straightforward. Sometimes it's not. Today, our levels are pretty much, 60, 65, 74, 83 all work very nicely there. And now we're just kind of just trying to see what we're going to do here. And again, these rally markets, they don't have too many ebbs and flows. So that's the thing you got to remember. It's just usually it's like a one-way, but at least we're getting a little ebbs and flows here. But as the afternoon goes on and the volatility gets sucked out of the market, you might get just this little one-way trade. I don't know. I mean, we might completely break and go the other way. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm saying if we continue this rally here, yesterday you can see the hourly bars there were moving back and forth. I don't know. We'll see if that happens today. You get opportunity if it does that. Obviously, we're not going to get opportunity if it goes one way. Well, we have a little support at 74, and they got down to 75 and change there, and rotating back up. So almost had that on the downside support area. Market rotating back up here. The resistance would be at the 90 area. And we had support at 74. We did not get down there. Better support is still at 65. But I'm saying if you were a little aggressive, you could have maybe tried to buy the 74 area. But like I said, never got down there. So it's neither here nor there. All right, market coming back up here to the highs here. Well, let's hope one of them gets hit there, Don. All right, again at the highs, looking for a little push higher. See what it wants to do. Well, guess it didn't like it. Doesn't want to get the 90. Again, retested the high there. Yeah, only if you're aggressive do you take that one. And when you get to this little stage here, you have to be very patient, like I said, and wait for something to occur, some level to get triggered or something. And that will help here with, obviously making money, which is the objective, to jump in here and try to trade this when it's, bouncing around back and forth like this is very tough. You can say it's a range game, and if you do, just keep your stop in there. We've talked about this a few times during the week, last week, about ranges. Peter, are you in the room right now? Chad, you guys in here? So we'll have our class later this afternoon. Just want to confirm. All right, fantastic. All right, back up here at the highs. Again, looking at the 90 area as our next level of resistance. Patience, again, very important here. We had 74 as a little bit of a buy, but we never got down there. Got down to 75 and change, and then started rotating back up here. Like I said, the other good resistance was at 65, but didn't get there either, obviously. All right, there, Don. That's, I guess you never know. All right, well, let's see if that happens. Well, I was teasing us up here at the 90 area. I got up to 88.5 here. And bouncing off here a little bit. Support, I guess, still at the 74 area. Maybe, yeah, 73, maybe 73, 74 area, at least for the time being. Anybody have any questions? Good time to ask. Like I said, we have to stay away when it gets like this. We have our levels above that. We're close. We almost got triggered, but we did not. And obviously, the rotation to the downside would be again support around the 72, 74 area. Well, I mean, take the upper end of the range there, HD. All right, market kind of just staying strong here. Not really reverting anywhere back. So, but again, next level resistance is 90. We could, if you're worried about the how close we got, maybe take the upper end of the range there for you. I would like that too, there, Don. Anybody have any questions? Good time to ask. Definitely nothing wrong with asking questions about anything that we do here. All right, market just kind of hanging up here at these highs. Maybe a little flagging thing going on here. So, but if we get into this rally mode, it could be a little tough to trade later on this afternoon. That's for sure. Especially if they start taking out some volatility, which they seem to be doing here. teasing us up here with this 90 area, right? Maybe take the upper end of the range here a little bit if you're a little concerned about it. And if some of you are too nervous about it, just cancel the trade altogether if you don't like the way it's setting up here. Yeah, well, we're trying to inch back up here a little bit. Got in there at the low end of our entry point there. See what it wants to do. Very tricky little trade up here right now. So be a little bit careful. If you did get in there at the low end there, you got a quick little payoff here. You can still in the same bar. Maybe you can keep the upper levels. Well, obviously, if you got in at the lower end there, you're getting paid off. And market is just a little bit tricky in here right now. Seems like there's a little resistance. We're also getting that slow rally. So that's why I said it's a little bit tricky here. But if you did get in there at the 9.5 there, maybe you got a little nice rotation. Got up there for you a couple times to try to get to. You should have gotten filled up there, I think. As the bar comes to an end here, you definitely have to. If you got 90, you probably go up to about the 91 area. Don't worry about it, HD. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you just made the adjustment. That's all right. You can't fret about it. You just, you know, you did it for the right reason. So just move on. We'll look for the 91. Just a little adjustment if you didn't get them. Obviously, it's a little bit more riskier now than it was if you had 89.5, obviously. Then you're okay. Don wanted me to tell you that it's okay that he didn't have the 89.5. He has a 90.5. So Don's with you. He wanted me to. No, he wanted me to relay that message to you. All right, I think we've had a pretty productive morning, and we do have to remember that this is a rally. I mean, we're not really moving around that much, but it seems like it's going to be one of those rally markets today, which again, it's fine as long as we understand that and trade accordingly. Support right now would be around the 72 to 74 area. This 90 area, again, if you didn't get filled here at the lower end of this range, if you didn't get in at 89, and if you didn't get in at 90.5, maybe extend it a little bit up to 91. If not, it's too much risk for you, just wait for the next level on the upside, which is 98. Unfortunately, that's where we're at. 72, 74 support and upside resistance at 98. And in the middle here, I mean, it could definitely do whatever it wants. It could bounce around. It could chop around here a little bit. Probably a good thing to just kind of stay out and just let it do its thing. All right. Again, things slowed down here a little bit. We're definitely flagging up here. A little resistance up here. Like I said, around the 90. Well, we had 90. It did. If you did get filled there at 88 and a half or 88, I'm sorry, 89 and a half or 89, you got a nice rotation off of it. I mean, you're also trying to scale in, so we have to keep that in mind. All right, again, support would be around the 74 area. Resistance right now, a little bit touchy here around 91, but a little bit there. If it's too risky for you, then look for the 98 level above. That would be our next level of resistance. And right here in the middle, it's kind of tough to really get good grasp of what's going to happen. And again, we try to make sure you are patient and wait for the opportunities to present themselves for you so that you can take advantage of it. Instead of just jumping in. We obviously had our levels that got nicely triggered this morning. 65 area, the 74 area, the 83 area. And if you did get in here at the 90 area, you did okay there. And then obviously we had a little buy, first rotation back to our blue band and or our pivot area. If you were looking for a little bit of a buying opportunity. So we've had a little ample chance, even though the market is kind of quiet, very busy. We were a little bit busy this morning, but now they've kind of pulled the plug here a little bit, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. So we have our levels on the upside. We talked about how risky the 90 area is, even 91. If you want to wait to 98, if you're a little bit more risk averse, you could do that. Right now, support would be around the 74, 75 area. And the next level above is 98. So if you don't want to take 90, 91 area, then look for the 98 above. Okay, take a little bit of a break as the market definitely slowed down here a little.
Hey, quick shout out and welcome back to Odie. Hey, Odie, welcome back. Quick shout out to you. Rajesh, are you back? Let me know in chat, Rajesh. And Leland, let us know if you have any additional questions.